I'm going to review the LEGO set 9450 Epic Dragon Battle. This set has 915 pieces, originally went for $120, and was released in June 2012. So first, let's go over the minifigures. So the first figure here is Lloyd, the Green Ninja version, the first version of him with the suit. Nice figure. This is when this came out, it was kind of rare since it only was in this set, and then a few months later they had it in a spinner set, so it was more common. Still a nice version, it has like kind of a shine to it, the front. Nothing much on the back since the armor covers most of it, but there's like a little symbol with a snake. But yeah, overall when it came out it was a nice figure. Just have a little katana blade weapon. Next figure is Sensei Wu. I just gave him the sword so he can hold it there. I think the same one came out in the Destiny's Bounty set, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But he is a cool looking figure as well, just the typical design of his white clothing. Then there's Jay. This is probably the most common figure of the set. I don't know, he's just kind of thrown in there so they can have 7 minifigures. But, you know, I think he had a weapon in the set too, I just can't find it. Then there was Lord Garmadon, who was also in the Destiny's Bounty set. This time he has all 4 weapons. I just gave him the free since the shurikens take up 2 hands. And he has a really cool piece at the time because he has the kind of upper torso piece, and you would be able to kind of squeeze that off a bit. And it was like they went over the original torso piece, kind of like that. So, and then you would just kind of be able to put that back on. Then next was Shogun, who had the little dagger here. He was in one other set. It's like a $20 spinner set, but still a nice figure to get, so you can get more of him. Same kind of face mold as Feng Shui, or however you pronounce that name, but a nice kind of orange finish. You usually don't see orange too much in LEGO, especially with villains, for like some of the agent stuff. But next is the General Skeletor, who didn't have a staff. The staff came in another set, but he had a spear with a little axe part at the end. And I made him a little shorter with the torso piece, which is the same as Baitar's. And of course he has a nice kind of tail piece. And he has a bit of orange, a lot more black than Shogun, but a nice figure. They give him like different kind of scale colors here. Him and Acidicus are some of the rarest Ninjago minifigures too. He had the Hypnobrai dagger, or the, you know, the teeth, as I call it in the show, the fang blades, and then he's kind of have the Lazara's mold along with this kind of dark green kind of color with some highlights of light green. He's got kind of one of the eyes here is kind of clawed off a bit, so he doesn't have much of it, but a really cool figure here. All the figures in the set are nice except for Jay, who's just kind of common. So first I'm going to go over the villains side of the set, which includes the Ouroboros Temple and the Great Devourer. I'm going to go over the Great Devourer first, since it's not much of a build in terms of features. But the main thing is the head, which has the kind of the weak spot in this little part up here. A little bit of negative space here. They could have kind of filled that up a bit more. But the main feature is that they use these Technic pins to make the mouth move easily. So like if you bend it down, you can kind of have the Devourer kind of pick something up. They mostly advertise having Jay be done with that, so kind of like that. You officially can fit him in there because they use like a rock terrain piece they usually use for, you know, rocks, and you can fit a minifigure in there. You can mostly close the mouth, and of course you can just kind of let him go. There isn't much to it. Like the head is mostly stable. You really can't move it. It turns up to there, so you can move a bit of the tail. So there's like 3 other parts along with this piece, which is a little sharp. You can kind of use it to knock down tower roving minifigures. That's really it for the Great Devourer. It isn't too much of a build here, of course, to match a lot with my background. But the second part is actually more features on it, even though it's a technically smaller build. It's a part of Ouroboros. There's not much to it though. I also first want to go over this piece. It's a cool piece right here. I've not really seen that used before. Just kind of a little bit there. Some snake heads you can kind of move around a bit. Looks like they're leaking kind of toxic goop. The main thing here also is a prison, so you can open that up and probably put like Jay in there. Room for about 2 figures in there. You can close that down. This works on these two kind of hinge pieces. However, it does kind of break over a little easily if you kind of, you know, press down on it too hard, but they do keep it, you know, like that. And of course you can put the Devourer tail. This little bridge part here, some rocks. You also have another little area over here on the back, so you can open this up and you can put Sensei Wu in there and you can kind of close that up. It's kind of hard because he has this hat. Another thing is there's a little toxic barrel, so there's some little studs in there. And you just pour it in there and it falls into Jay's cage. And that's it, really. I mean, not too much. It is more of a little playset area where you can put the Great Devourer and have it posed. You also have these nice butterfly sword pieces. I like those a lot. But that's about it for this section. So the second half of the set is the Ultra Dragon, or Epic Dragon, I don't know, just Ultra Dragon sounds better. This is a very cool build. It doesn't have as much pieces as you probably think. It's about 400 pieces, so mainly because the heads take up a lot of it, and you know, it's just a couple of pieces. There's a lot of interesting features. I'm going to first start at the front here with the heads. So there's 4 of them, you can pose them. They're connected to this really weird kind of area over here. They could have covered that up a little better, especially this tile here doesn't fit too well. But 2 of the dragons, you don't have much space here because you can kind of just take a figure and kind of just put it inside there. You're supposed to put Shoken in there, but you know, kind of just put a figure there and you can pose them. The other 2 far, you know, the ones that are farther up here, you can squeeze the heads and there goes the ball. It's a little kind of one of those, I think they were from Bionicle first, but those little pieces. Then there's a saddle up here. They use the gun piece. And you can open that up and put the Green Ninja. You can kind of slide him in here on a tile. And then, you know, has room for him. You can kind of squeeze it in. But the main feature is this Technic part up here. And they use some smaller ball joint pieces to make it so you can flap the wings. So you can, that's how you hold it like this. Usually you can probably just do it with one finger and it looks like it's flying, and then, you know, it's better if you have 2 hands to do it, but you can kind of make it like it seems like the wings are flapping. Now of course you can make these legs move their own ball joints. The back one's not so much, just a little bit with the feet, with the legs. And of course there's also a whipping tail, so you can kind of make that move. And of course this piece here is cool because it's like a dark translucent green. You usually don't see that too much, especially with newer sets, but I think that's a cool looking color, and you have it quite a bit in this set since the Ultra Dragon's, you know, supposed to be a green dragon. And of course at the end you have this tail part. So this is overall a nice dragon. You have all 4 of the main ones. You have the Lightning Dragon, Fire Dragon, Earth Dragon, and Ice. And the Earth one looks kind of weird, but mainly because it's odd kind of head shape compared to the others. You also compose the claws. You have Sensei Wu's hat here for some reason. They did that a lot more, or just have his hat piece used as a cover. But a lot of nice white pieces as well. A bit of gray, which is kind of odd compared to other colors. They could have covered it up some of the studs, but a great looking part of the set definitely adds to it. So overall, this is a great set. A little disappointing with the piece count, but I still like the set a lot, mainly because it has a lot to it. You get the Great Devourer, Forehead Ultra Dragon, a little piece of Ouroboros, and mostly the minifigures are really interesting since like 2 of them here are still exclusive to this day. So yeah, even though it has like 900 pieces, I still like this set a lot. One of my favorite Ninjago sets, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and bye guys.